This episode of KSTV is brought to you by Gem Creative, custom designs, printing, web designs, SEO, and more.
Well, welcome back, everybody.
Yes.
I'm still not Ron.
No, and I'm still not Kevin, but this is Kevin, and I'm Ron, and this is a
hokey show.
yeah, that
show.
too.
The Kevin and Ron show.
Kevin and Ron show.
Okay. Ron and Kevin show. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing we were talking about, Ron, the other day, you and I thought, let's bring this up and see what our audience thinks about this. How are you for branding? And by that I mean, are you a Coke person or are you a Pepsi person? Is the glass Pepsi? There you go. Yeah, both for me.
Well, actually, I don't drink Pepsi much. Are you a tea person or a coffee person?
Ooh, both.
Oh, good.
But I would probably prefer coffee.
Okay, and I'm a tea person.
Oh.
But I do drink coffee every once in a while. Okay.
Yeah. So is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? The cat pushes it on the floor and said the glass is broken. So there you go.
I never thought of that branding.
Well,
this is the new branding for your water.
Exactly.
The cat brand.
Oh, interesting.
On the floor.
Yeah. Okay. See, so and the reason I was asking too, because we all have personal favorites.
Yes.
Do you wear Reebok shoes? Do you wear Nike shoes? Do you whatever it is? You know, we're all kind of slaves to fashion and to brands at some point.
Yeah.
But we all are, even if we don't realize it.
Yeah, very much so.
And that's okay as long as you don't overspend your budget on it. You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to Walmart, there are certain brands at Walmart. So if that's the place that you frequent, I guess that's your branding.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
As long as you're comfortable with it.
Well, most of the stuff that I wear is fairly comfortable, so yeah.
You're fine.
Thank you.
You're good. No, you look good. You look like $1 million.
Well, you don't look much more than $1 million either yourself.
Much more than $1 million. Well, I'm glad you said that.
Oh,
I was worried there.
I know. You just.
I went to extra work, so I put on a white shirt and everything for tonight, just so I, look good in front of the green screen here.
Yeah, and look, I put on a white sweater just to
see. There you go. So who knows what
we're very much. So, what brand do you use the most often?
For what brand for?
Well, let's take your T-shirt there.
This is a brand. When I used to work at another place, one of the bonuses offered was free merchandise.
Oh, okay.
So we got certain points, and I got merchandise. My favorite brand for merchandise, shirts and stuff, is actually Under Armour.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a good one.
It's very comfortable and it's stylish.
I love the Wrangler brand. Their shirts particularly because they fit me well.
Yes.
And I guess that's the real question. Oftentimes the branding is what fits you well.
Right. And you know what? A lot of us are influenced by when we're in school. What are your friends wearing?
Yep.
If they're wearing Lee jeans or Levi jeans, that's what you're going to want to get. You're not going to want to get the Zeller Special because you're going to look like a bit of a misfit.
But and nerds. And I was a bit of a nerd in school, so I used to button my shirt right up to the top button.
Okay, yeah.
It took me years to get down to down one button. What happened? Where are we with fads? I don't understand.
I could tell you some silly things that I've seen in my time, but one in particular, and I was in Ottawa one year. The fad was for sweatshirts. The kids only wore the shirts. Their left arm was in the sleeve. The right arm, the sleeve just hung over. Weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That is a little weird.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of kids still today wear their pants half down their butt. But
so the question of brands.
Yes.
Let's zip back to that question.
Yes.
How do we? Why?
Well, like I said, I think in our early formative years, I think our friends play a big part of that. Yeah. If you want to be with the in crowd or look cool, you're going to wear this brand, or you're going to wear this color, or whatever it is. Yeah. Because we don't want to be left out.
So when something goes out of fashion, then we look for a new brand.
Or you're going to be a rebel and keep it because that's you. Depending on the age you're at, you could just say, you know what, I like this. I don't care what they think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to talk about a recent webinar.
Okay,
and I'm involved with churches, and here is the new term, a micro church. It's not like a microscope; it's a micro church. Well, then you must have a macro church or a mega church or some other thing. But because people have become disaffected with the institution of churches. Now we have to brand a new church and call it a micro church or call it something else. I listened to the webinar, and by the time I was done, I thought, I know what that was. That's what we did back in the 60s. And it sounded like, 50, 60 years later, we're just rebranding the old brand. And that can work. That's fine.
Yeah, it can,
but
yeah.
if all you're doing is rebranding the old brand, are you really coming up with something new? Are you really moving ahead? I guess.
Not always. No. What's old is new again. I mean, look at Coke. They've actually rebranded themselves a little bit over the years.
Yeah.
And they've taken a lot of flack.
Well, yeah.
Over the, for that.
That's the real thing.
You don't rebrand Coke. Oh, no. For those diehard people, you just don't do that.
Yeah.
That's like KFC. You don't change the recipe of KFC.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
No, it's sacrilege.
Exactly. So
do that.
But then they rebrand the old brand. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they make the old brand look new. They try to appeal to a different audience.
So everything under the sun is the same.
Everything's negotiable. Everything's negotiable.
And we're going to negotiate the end of this show.
I think we should.
Yes.
What's your brand? Let us know.
Thank you.
Happy to hear it.
News sponsored by Impact Energy Services. There when it matters most.
And in the news, more emergency vehicles permitted to use flashing blue lights. The provincial government has amended the Vehicle Equipment Regulations Act, allowing more emergency vehicles to add blue flashing lights to their existing lights. The law is in effect immediately and impacts ambulances and firefighting vehicles and other designated emergency vehicles. Police vehicles, tow trucks, service vehicles, and snowplows were already permitted to use flashing blue lights. Drivers are reminded that in Saskatchewan you must slow to 60 kilometers per hour when passing emergency vehicles or tow trucks that are stopped on the roadside with flashing lights, no matter what color they are. And farmers are encouraged to think about grain bin safety. With seeding just around the corner, farmers are encouraged to think about grain bin safety. Every year, several Canadian farm workers suffocate in grain bins. These deaths are preventable. People can become caught or trapped in grain bins in 3 different ways: the collapse of bridged grain, the collapse of a vertical wall of grain, and engulfment in grain. Moving or flowing grain is involved in all 3. Farm workers are encouraged to plan for escape before entering any grain bin. Always have a person watch from the outside. The watcher should have clear instructions on what to do in case of an emergency. The first instruction must be, "Don't follow me in," followed by "Call 911 and get help if I am trapped." For more information and a further list of safety tips, please visit the Canadian Agriculture Safety Association website.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Ron.
And we are here again live from Kindersley,
Saskatchewan?
Canada.
Yes, in the universe.
I thought we were going to go with
You couldn't go any further than that. I said the postal
good.
codes are
Yeah,
kind of, we've lost it.
It's a long way behind. Wow.
Wow.
And I was thinking last night.
Were you?
It's hard to believe. I know. I
I'm glad
was
to hear
thinking
that.
last night. And the reason I was thinking was because I found my dad had commissioned when he was younger a family tree.
Oh.
For our family.
Yeah.
And a lot of my dad's side of the family came from Ireland. I have a great grandfather who was a wrestler in Ireland.
Really?
And a lot of my mom's side came from Russia and Ukraine that way.
Oh wow! So
and
nowadays those countries are way out in front.
I know, and they settled in the southern part of Manitoba along with the Mennonites there. And I thought, well, that's an interesting subject because we're all, in a way, we're Canadians, of course, but we're our forebearers, so to speak. They came from everywhere.
Well, and nowadays, of course, in Canada, we talk about the colonialists or those who have come in, the newcomers.
Yes.
And even then, I go back and I say, well, if you aren't a newcomer, did you come from somewhere else? Maybe not. I don't know. That's part of it. Wouldn't it be interesting to have some of their family trees?
Well, it would be,
and just trace that back. I would love to see.
And
some
I know
of that history.
my grandma, when she passed away in 07, I think she was 99 and just about a half. And I think of all the things and all the advances in the world that she has seen in her 99 years.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back and see the world through her eyes, even like, living through the dirty 30s.
Yeah.
And the bad stuff too. I mean, it's all relative, but I thought, wow, what a lot of changes have come on.
Yeah, I want to go back to that. It's all relative type of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because family trees.
That was a pun I didn't intend, but thank you for pointing it out to me. I appreciate that.
Family trees are always fun.
It depends if you shake them and how many nuts fall out.
Yeah, that's very true. We won't follow that particular acorn. We'll just leave it alone.
Right.
But if I go back in my history to the 1600s, I'm out of Switzerland. And that's where my family tree sort of, and before that, I mean, I haven't got all those details, but there we are, Switzerland, and then around Europe, and then finally over to the States, and then Pennsylvania area, and then up into Canada. And the fun part of family trees. Okay, I'm going to let you talk a little bit more before I get carried away here. But the fun part of family trees is, in the early 1900s, a scam was started that included anyone who was part of Colonel Jacob Baker's relatives. Colonel Jacob Baker was supposedly given the heart of Philadelphia. I mean, literally, because he was such a good army officer, the government supposedly gave him the heart of Philadelphia. And therefore, if you were a relative of his, you could be inheriting all of that money that the heart of Philadelphia now produces, rent and all that sort of stuff. But the thing is, in order to verify that, you had to create or prepare or put in front of the lawyers from Philadelphia this family tree. Well, the Bakers have family trees like crazy, therefore, and and everybody's related to everybody, and you got the Cobers and you got the Donors and you got Staples and it's just crazy. So here we have this marvelous family tree. Do you know what? Because of that family tree and the book of that family tree, or one of those trees, the newest pastor coming to Kindersley, Saskatchewan, to the Clearview Community Church, his wife is related to me. He lives in Ontario. She does too. How does that happen? It all falls off the tree.
Genetics? I don't know. So what you're saying is...
it could be genetics. Yeah,
so you could be rich then?
I could be rich. Yes. Oh, yes. The Philadelphia... Have you ever heard of Philadelphia lawyers? Okay. It's
not on a very
it's a derogatory term for those of you that ever go into history.
Yeah.
The scammers got caught and all that sort of stuff.
So you don't really have the heart of Philadelphia?
I have the heart of Philadelphia. You realize what Philadelphia means. It means love of your brothers. I have Philadelphia. Yes, but I do not have any money.
Shoot, because I was going to ask you for a loan, but
I don't.
Well, that's all right. That idea.
Yeah, well, yeah. So much for my credit. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, family trees are interesting.
They are.
That's for sure, because they can take you places that fiction can't even go to. Our backgrounds can be stranger than fiction.
Oh, they are stranger than fiction. And who's the worst black sheep in your family?
Wow, that's a good man. There's so many. Probably me at the top of the list. I don't know.
This guy wrestling, for WWF or Ireland International.
Right. Could be. Well, he maybe didn't spend a lot of time at the pub. But
good. Yeah.
Busy wrestling.
Yeah. However,
I think we should.
I didn't hear about your black sheep, so I think we should quit now before we hear about the true black sheep.
Yeah, you don't want to hear about that. It's not a good story.
No.
But until next time, research your family tree. Find out what's in there. You might be surprised.
And if we're related to you, send us a note. We would be glad to not know that we are related to us.
And if we can get money from somebody else from loaning it, that'd be even better.
Yes, it's all relative. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Mitch Hope, Deputy Chief, Kindersley Fire Department. Just going to give you some safety tips with grain bin safety. 80% of engulfments happen from emptying bins and moving grain, whether it be a grain vacuum or an auger. When we're doing such things, we need to be aware of our surroundings. We need to try to avoid from working inside the bin. And if we do need to work inside of our bins, We need to make sure we have restraint devices, spotters, and never work alone. Just be aware of our safe work practices and follow them. Grain spoilage is a major safety concern. We need to make sure we're checking bins for water leaks, proper ventilation, and proper moisture levels. When we have grain spoilage, we can have buildups and bridges built within our grain bins that can cause collapses and other safety risks, especially when we're working inside of them. If you find grain spoilage, try to reduce that by poking at it with a stick or other means without going into the grain bin. If you absolutely do need to go into the grain bin, make sure you use safe work practices and restraint devices.
Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, everybody.
Yeah, wherever you are, whatever time it is.
We hope you're going to enjoy today's edition of whatever it is we do. I am not Ron.
No, and I'm not Kevin.
So,
because
therefore, we are not each other.
This is not the Ron and not Kevin show. This is us just doing our thing.
Right.
Because we're looking forward to learning something new today.
Right. And I thought, being May, and with the spring coming up and the flower is blooming, let's maybe give our moms a bit of a nod to,
I think that's a great idea.
You know, because moms, I'll tell you what, they've tanned, my mom's tanned my hide a few times in my day.
They've gone through a little bit, let's put it that way. Yeah.
Well, you know, and as kids, we think our parents don't know anything. Guess what?
Yeah.
They've been there, done that.
They have. And the funny thing is that the older I get, the more I realize how little my kids knew. And you know how much I knew. It's amazing.
It is, and I think you'd make a great mom.
Well,
however,
thank you. I'm sure you would as well.
Well, I hope so.
Okay, that's not going anywhere. Let's talk about Mother's Day.
Yes.
Do you know where the whole thing came from?
I actually do not.
Okay, I did a little reading, and I mean, you can go way back, and some people say, well, go back to the Greek and the Romans, and it's all about the goddess and the mother goddess. But really, the current contemporary North American Mother's Day comes out of what they would call Mothering Sundays.
Oh, okay.
Which was a way to say, you know, we live in a society, and in the particular time when this was coming along, we live in a society where people don't know how to be mothers. It sounds vaguely familiar to a society where people are in single families and perhaps never having had a mother figure. So they started off with that being part of what Mothering Sunday was, is we're going to help you be parents. We're going to help you be mothers. Have the mothering thing go on. Yeah.
So we celebrate that by taking them out to dinner, by buying them flowers, by recognizing the contribution they make to the family.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, absolutely, because without moms, I mean, well, it's not the same, put it that way.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. You know,
no, well, that's true. It's not.
It's just the way it is.
Moms are important.
They are.
And I think sometimes one day a year isn't enough.
It would be better if every day was Mother's Day. And you know, I just think, why not? But then how do you do that? Because we get so busy. We need to be remembering our moms.
Absolutely. Then we also need to remember our dads. But on the other hand, you have 4 fingers and a thumb, but that's not the point.
Okay, you're right.
I don't.
I got, you know, it's funny how that sometimes goes. Okay, I'm going to get back to the mother's thing.
Yes, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Okay, so the whole Mothering Day thing came out of a society that was disintegrating as far as how the families run.
Okay.
And the polarities and just the. Well, let's put it this way. If I was in 2020 or 2022, I might almost feel like I was back in the 1800s when some of this Mothering Day thing started. And we are in much the same situation. Maybe we need to make a bigger thing about a Mothering Day or a day for those who care for children and take care of them and move them ahead. Make sure that the very best they can be is the very best they can be, and they don't get left behind. And you know, I feel badly for those kids, and I run across those kids that just haven't had the guiding hand of a mother. And
it does make growing up tougher. Absolutely. I lost my mom about 12 years ago now, and I still miss her.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, it's just, it doesn't matter how old you are, your mom is always going to be your mom, and as a mother, you're always going to be their child. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how old you are either.
That's very true.
You know, I think it would be nice, maybe unrealistic. Could we just respect our moms all the time?
I think that's a very good idea. Now, just out of fun here.
Okay.
I have over the years had opportunity to speak on Mother's Day, and one of the greatest opportunities was the day that I talked about my 5 mothers.
Ah,
Yeah. Did
Well,
you know
you're-
I've had 5? I have my mother,
Yes.
my birth mother, then my mother-in-law,
okay.
and then my wife was a mother, and then when my first wife passed away, I remarried, so now I had a new mother-in-law, and you know, it just kept going on, and I'm thinking, I think I'm good with 5 mothers, but
I think you're above average.
I am. Well, what can I say? You know, that's just the way it is. But yeah, but that means that I love the idea of having Mother's Day because I have a whole group of people, as I think of it, who have
And you
been
can,
mothers.
you can celebrate every one of them.
Yeah, you can.
Absolutely.
Which is great.
Wonderful.
So what are you going to do for Mother's Day?
That's a good question. Unfortunately, my mom is buried in Manitoba. So usually, whenever we get down there, I go visit.
Yeah, take a trip
once a
down.
year, every second year, I get down there and visit a little bit and light a candle on her gravestone.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
it's not the same talking to her that way as you and I talk.
Yeah.
Because her and I got along great when I wasn't annoying her.
I can't believe you would annoy your kid. That just doesn't.
It took a lot of work, but I could do it.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, push the button. Okay, yeah. Again, no, stop now. Okay.
And you're still pushing.
Yeah.
For the 8th time, yeah. Yes.
And our mothers put up with us, which is great.
Why we'll never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a question of what? Yes.
So, for your Mother's Day, what are you doing? I'll be glad to hear. You know, some of
I
that
would
feedback.
love to, yeah, we would both love to hear what you're planning to do, what you will do. and-
When you actually watch this and as has been recorded, what have you done for Mother's Day? It would be
Sure,
great to hear.
and just let us know. Contact the KSTV and let us know, and we will air your adventures, if you want to call them that, your celebrations with Mom,
Yes,
and
yes.
let's go from there.
That would be great.
All right. See ya.
Events sponsored by Royal Flush, the company for septic services.
And in other local events, the Kindersley Museum Summer Lottery is back. The Kindersley Museum volunteers are pleased to share that their summer lottery is back. Currently, they are looking for items to put towards the lottery. In exchange, businesses or individuals will receive advertising on the museum's social media platforms, website, and more. If you would like to donate an item, please contact Anna at kindersleymuseum20@gmail.com or call 306-463-6620 to speak with Glenn. And a Mother's Day brunch and trade show is happening in Cereal. After a 3-year hiatus, the Cereal Athletic Association is pleased to share their Mother's Day brunch and trade show, and it's back. From 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., treat your mom to a delicious breakfast and beautiful gifts from a local artisan and home-based businesses at Cereal's CJ Peacock Center. Tickets are $14 per person or $50 per family. Children under 7 years of age free, so please be sure to bring the entire family.
Well, hello everybody. It is Ron.
Yes, I'm Ron.
And I'm Kevin. And just touch my. Why do I do that? Anyway.
Okay. Well, this is the Kevin and Ron show.
Right.
We're moving into it just now. It's
And
just so fun.
We're coming live to you from wherever this is going to say on here. I don't know.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be beautiful? I don't know either what it's going to be, but we are live when this is being recorded.
Right.
It's working really
Maybe we'll get Hawaii up on the board.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Cool, the surf
Yeah,
breaking
yeah.
over the sand.
Yeah, or the Antarctic. Wouldn't that be great if we were just out shoveling snow?
No.
Okay, we're done with that.
That's done. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's.
And let me just tell you something. Some other people are done with something else, which has been an interesting thing.
Yeah, they have been,
Yeah.
and that concerns television. Do you subscribe to different stations, channels, apps,
I'm
whatever
not
you
even
want to
sure
call
what
them?
we call it nowadays because oftentimes, you can still subscribe to CBC or CTV or
Right.
all those, but now it's Netflix. It is a fix, a Netflix fix, and
Interesting.
Disney Plus and
Yes.
all of the other. I don't know. I can't call them channels yet. I'm still trying to figure out what to streaming services.
There we go.
There we
Okay,
are,
yeah. Just think of streaming. Yeah, like
Yeah.
fishing, streaming,
Yeah,
and the fishing
yeah,
and the
yeah.
stream. Yeah. And you're fishing for what channel to watch?
Oh, very good.
Thank
and
you.
and when you get hooked,
Oh,
the problem comes.
here we go.
The problem comes that when you get hooked on it, you want to get released
Or they
because
wanna
the money costs.
Those
costs so
companies
much.
want to reel you in.
Oh, and that's the real thing.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's just amazing. Well, let me personalize it. We thankfully were able to work along with our kids and get on to Netflix. So there's five. What is it? Whatever you can, as many as you can put on, and so the cost isn't as great. But as soon as you venture out and start looking at other channels, other
Yes.
streaming services,
Right.
all of a sudden you realize how much money a month or how much money a year, hundreds of dollars, and you're saying to yourself, well, if I have 5 of these or if I have 10 of these, thousands of dollars.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people that I know anyway have gone away from mainstream cable and even satellite and
Yeah.
just gone with some of the streaming services because you can subscribe to and you get 8,000 channels, but you can only watch one at a time.
Yeah.
So you could be missing a lot of great TV. On the other, it could be don't miss us because that was not be right.
Make
no.
sure to stay.
Yes.
We're here.
So all these channels and whatever you want to call them, they do cost money. You're right, and they can add up in a hurry.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest reason why I personally don't subscribe to cable or to a.
But you
Telus or whatever.
do you subscribe to some streaming services?
I
or
do.
use them?
I do have Disney and I do have Netflix. I'm not at home a lot anymore to really watch a lot, so I don't want to pay a lot.
Okay. Yeah. I guess the question, well, the question nowadays as people start talking about this is what are the main or the most widely used, and we always talk Netflix, Disney Plus,
Right. Crave TV is another one.
Crave TV seems to have had a following.
Yeah.
And then you start going down into the other ones that are specialty channels, really specialty
Yes.
streaming services,
Yes.
and again, the money. Well, okay. Here's my conundrum. I'm working with small churches. There's a new hub that has started, a streaming service,
Okay.
and for only $10 a month, which adds up to 10 plus 10 plus 12, $120 a month, I now can get all the information that used to be free before they had the pro version.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
So I'm starting to wonder if the original idea, which back in the 80s, we were starting with the internet, and it was governed by the United States Armed Services. When it started back then, it was the idea, it's all free. We want to resource people. We want to have open source. What are you finding? Are we so open source now?
Well, again, I don't watch enough to be.
Well, there you go.
I just don't know. I mean, I use.
You don't
Google.
have to pay.
No, I pay for Disney and Netflix. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah,
And that comes off my credit card.
yeah.
Whatever. And it's done.
Okay, that sounds like another show. What about credit cards? How do we use? Okay, but that's a whole other show.
That's a whole other show,
Okay,
yeah,
but
yeah.
this one's actually about streaming.
So, what apps or what services do you use? Please let us
Yeah.
know. We're curious because
I am very curious.
as being part of an older generation, I don't know what's always available out there because I don't go looking. But for the younger generation who's into all that stuff, I am curious to know, what do you guys watch?
Yeah.
What streaming services are
That
are
would
on
be
your
great.
phone or in your computer?
Yeah, I work with college students, and so they've been talking about apps, and I'm thinking, I never heard of that. I never heard of that one. Oh, that would really work well. And sure,
There you go.
if you got some suggestions, that would be just great to have.
Absolutely. KindersySocial.ca.
Yes.
Tune in again.
Sports, sponsored by the Tint Doctor. We've got you covered.
And in sports news, hey, the countdown is on to the first Rider game of the year. Rider fans, get ready because the countdown is on. The Rough Riders will be back on the field at Mosaic Stadium for their first match, a preseason game against the reigning Grey Cup champion Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Monday, May 23rd. The team's regular season will then kick off a home game at Mosaic on Saturday, June 11th against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Overall, the home schedule features 4 Friday home games, 4 Saturday home games, and 1 Sunday game, as well as 5 family-friendly start times of 5 p.m. or earlier. And this year, the fans can also look forward to the return of the Grey Cup to Saskatchewan when the province plays host to the 109th CFL Championship on November 20th. And in local news, a bike rodeo is coming to town. The town of Kindersley has partnered with local RCMP for the bike rodeo, which is being held on May 14th, 2022 from 1 to 4 p.m. Residents are encouraged to come down to the West Central Event Center to learn about bike safety, take part in a simulated road course, enjoy a free barbecue, and much more. Guardians must be in attendance for children under 12. Many thanks to Supreme Source for Sports, who have donated a bike for an early registration prize.
Welcome back, folks. It's us in all our splendor and glory. That's Ron.
Yeah, and that's this guy over here, Kev.
Hi.
Finn.
Pleased to meet you, everybody.
Yes.
You know, Ron, one thing got me talking today to myself.
Okay.
I said to myself, Self, what would you do if you didn't have a cell phone?
A cell phone.
A cell phone. Because, you know, a lot of us now...
You wouldn't be able to take a selfie. If you didn't have a cell phone. Yeah.
Right. How did we get along without them? I mean, we are so, I won't say addicted, although in some cases that can be.
Yeah.
But does anybody not write letters anymore? Do we just do it on our phone?
Why do we go to the post office anymore? There's a legitimate question there. And
yes, there is.
Yes, we do receive varying
packages
and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost become a package place instead of a letter place.
Yes, exactly.
And the gadgets and the whole thing that has happened just has changed.
It's
the post office.
Totally different. Yes, although you can get a post office app and you can do things from your phone.
Well, that's true too. I mean, there you go. The gadgets have made it.
Yeah, you can print out your label and everything you need.
Do you remember the first calculators that came out?
Oh my!
Oh my! That was almost.
It was painful to watch someone do that if they didn't know what to do.
If they didn't. But I bought a newest one. This was back in the 1980s, and what we did was it would. If you push the button, each time you push the button 1, it would keep adding it. So you didn't have to push the 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus.
Right.
So we could figure out how many times we could push that button in 1 minute. We would time ourselves, and literally it would keep track of how fast our fingers were. Well, if I could type as fast as, it was amazing. But I mean, why do you even buy a physical one now? It's on your computer.
Everything's at our fingertips.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
We don't really need a cell phone, a phone on your wall at home. A rotary phone.
I don't have.
No,
a rotary phone. Weren't they fun?
They were great.
Yeah. Tick, 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 tick,
And we ran for them when the phone rang because we didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
Not like on your cell phone, you know who's calling.
Yeah. And the fun part was if you were on a party line, you could pick it up and it was more than just the person who was phoning that was on the line. It was many others. And you knew that the best and newest news was coming through the party line and everybody knew it.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And if you had to hang up on somebody, it was so satisfying to slam that phone down. I'm sorry, but it was.
Exactly.
You can't do that with your cell phone because you'd break it.
Yeah. And then I go back to the relatives in the back and go back further where they were literally running wires for electricity.
Yes.
Not necessarily even with plastic on them or anything. You just didn't walk into that and it would run to your farm and everybody was electrified. And the technology it's
outpaced us very quickly. Mm-hmm. Smarter minds than ours have figured out how to do what the voodoo that they do.
So here's the question that's coming with technology is, so we're moving out of fossil fuel and now we're moving to electricity.
Right.
Is that an electronic? Are we moving to new technology or new delivery of power.
Wow, I
suppose
think
that's
it's
the
just a
question.
newer application of power.
Ah, maybe that's it.
Now, I don't know about you, but I think at 40 below in Saskatchewan, electric cars are going to have a hard time.
I've been wondering how to deal with that.
And I deal with it
myself.
by not dealing with it.
Okay, there you go.
I'm done. So-
And when somebody gives you an electric car, you'll test it out.
I might. I might. I can't say for sure, but
Okay.
I have driven a hybrid,
Okay.
and they're very nice. They really are nice.
Yeah. I've got a tree that's a hybrid.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tree wood or? Oh, we're
wood
not
tree.
talking golf. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Right,
Oh,
go.
oh, wouldn't that be great? Golf is coming up.
It is.
Isn't it going to be great? Now, what's the newest technology in golf? Because you do the whole.
I do. Well, you know what? Every manufacturer every year tries to do a different just a little quirky design,
Yeah, yeah.
and say they've got the best new clubs that are on the market.
Okay.
That's not that's not what I feel. I feel doesn't matter what kind of clubs you hit. If you hit it right, it's going to go.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose. Well, yeah, it should.
It should, and they spend a gazillion dollars in marketing trying to convince you that their designs are better than the other ones.
Exactly. And I still use 3 clubs. I have a one club. I club one, and I have a 5-iron, and I have a putter. I can do a whole course on that. I don't need, but I have fun with the new technology.
It is fun, absolutely. However, it's not as easy to carry all those clubs if you only carry 3.
That's
That's
very
way
true.
easier, very easy.
Yeah, it would mean that I would lose some of this, and then if I was carrying 27 clubs instead of.
Well, you're only allowed 14.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Oh man.
Sorry to have to tell you that.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you told me that,
Yeah.
because now I feel like I'm going to have to rethink my whole.
And I'm going to swerve back to electronics because
Yes.
you can use your rangefinder to find out how far you are from.
I never thought of that.
Oh yeah,
Isn't that a great idea?
No.
Well, let's say something about our technology. No, some of it's just.
It's too much, some of it.
Yeah,
But that's just our opinion because of
Yeah.
our generation. We're not growing up with the technology.
Oh, but as I say, I teach college students.
Right.
There are some of them that think some of this new technology is just plain.
Really?
Why bother?
Nice. Well, that's good.
They've already caught on to a lot of us Luddites who are still running around saying, well, why do you need this and why do you need that? So technologically, I'm glad it works, because
Yes.
that's why we're here today.
Because of technology, we're allowed to come to you
Yes, to come to
and
you,
do what we do.
and you're allowed to push the button and turn us off.
And they will.
They will. Thank you
Aye.
for coming.
You betcha.
Hi everyone, be sure to grab a free copy of our bi-weekly print issue in over 50 locations across Kinnersley. Also included in our magazine is the free Kinnersley Social Extra, where we publish things like community events for nonprofits and obituaries for free. If you would like to be featured in our magazine or have something advertised, please email hello@kinnersleysocial.ca.